Hey guys, Thomas Ray here from Audio Unity Group, and today I'm going to talk to you about limiters and should you be using them on the master channel in your mix. Okay, so you probably heard that before. You shouldn't be using limiter on the master channel. You should be using the limiter on the master channel. Let me give you my take on it. So if you're working on your mix and you did all the EQing, compression, etc., whatever you do for the individual channels, when you finish your mix, I suggest to put the limiter on the master channel to see how the mix will behave once amplified. Now, I'm getting clients from time to time saying, after I do the mastering, they're saying, oh, do you know what, I will have to change something in the mix because the guitars are too prominent or the vocals too harsh or whatnot. Now, the reason being is because they've not heard their mix being amplified. And I strongly suggest to use the limiter on the master channel when you're mixing. Okay, at the end of your mix, like let's say you 80% done, 90% done, put the limiter on, put the threshold down, put the ceiling -1 actually, and then see how your mix behave. See what's coming up, because there's some sounds that will come up. Let's say it's usually vocals that are coming up a bit too loud. So check that. Put the limiter on. Good limiters, L1, L2 from Waves. The beautiful limiters. And then once you're happy with it, once all the levels are done properly the way you want it, this is when you're taking your limiter off and bouncing it for mastering. You don't want limiter to be on the master channel when you bounce it for mastering. I promise you, when you do this, you have less issues with the masters that you get from your mastering engineer. Just because you would know how loud would the vocals sound once amplified during the mastering stage. So in an ideal world, I would suggest to use a mixed bus compressor. I know SSL has pretty nice sort of plugin of the mixed bus compressor. There is another company called PSP. They've got a vintage warmer. I would strongly suggest to put that on your master channel and then feed all your mix through that mixed bus compressor. Now, you might want to leave it actually for the mastering. It's just because you just lower down how much threshold actually getting into it. But what the mixed compressor do is it glues everything together. I heard some great mixes done with the mixed bus compressor on, and when I started mastering, it's like, oh yeah, you can actually hear they're nicely put together. So experiment. Once again, use the limiter during your mixing. When you're 80% in, just to check the balance, check the different sounds, different instruments, how do they behave when amplified, and use the mixed bus compressor if you can. Once again, just a little threshold, just to make sure that there is a needle. And I know SSL has a needle, just to make sure there's just a little touch. That would glue everything together, and leave it on and send it to your mastering engineer, or just bounce it to the new project when you start your own mastering. Guys, I hope that was helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you want to comment on the video, please leave a comment. I'll read all the comments. I'll reply to all the comments. If you want to learn more about mastering, I've got a mastering course where I teach everything I know about mastering. It's basically a blueprint of getting your sounds from just a mix to great sounding master. The link's down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.